Hi everybody, it's Dr. Sasheen, and I need about 2 to 3 minutes of your time. So I've made a post that I'd gone to the doctor I had a surgery a few months ago. I was just in for a routine checkup of the surgery, post-surgery, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, but we got to talking about other things. And one of the things that we keep our pulse on, because I'm a vet, search and age. And by the way, I'm Dr. Sasheen. Welcome to Women in Transition blogcast. Hopefully you're tuned in for this good, quick talk. Okay, so I was telling her about a number of things that I've been noticing were just kind of going a little bit haywire, but that I would not have ascribed to menopause. And this is why. Information is our ally, and we don't know enough of it because it's changing so quickly. So one of the things that we talked about was I'm going to need to get my eyes checked. And I was talking to her about just, this kind of series of weird things that started happening with my eyes. And she said, it's the menopause. It's the perimenopause. And I said, I'm sorry? What are you talking about? And she said, everything that you have told me that is going on with you right now can all be chalked up to perimenopause. All of your symptoms, all of them. Because I was like, is there something going on? And da-da-da. And she's like, let me just stop you. Everything that you've said is a sign of menopause. Collectively together, it's for sure perimenopause. But even if you were just having a few of those, I would be like, let's start talking. Now, we'd already been testing my estrogen levels and all that. And yes, I am on hormone therapy. But here's the other thing. So the first thing is, don't let all of your symptoms happen in a vacuum. Talk to your doctor. Talk to your doctor about all the things that you're feeling and let a big kaleidoscope start to form around you. All of your symptoms are happening together. They're dancing together. And though it may sometimes feel like they're separate, they're not. And that's what I understood yesterday. The other thing is we talked about weight gain. If you've watched my channel at all, through the time I've been doing it, I've gained some weight. And I've been on a journey to lose that weight. And one of the things that she said to me was, without some hormone replacement therapy, most women are not going to get through perimenopause getting that weight off without a significant caloric deficit. And even then, that's probably not going to help because your body is doing different things. So she said to me, and I'm saying this to you, I guess this might be longer than 3 minutes. But she said to me, and I'm saying this to you, before we start to try to fix each of the symptoms that are going on, let's look at what we can do to treat the whole picture. And the picture is I'm a woman going through perimenopause. The whole picture is that there are pieces to this puzzle that rely directly on the amount of certain hormones in my system. As that hormone decreases and diminishes, parts of the pieces of this puzzle begin to degrade. And to keep that from having detrimental long-term impacts, the answer for me at least, and you need to see your doctor, but the answer for me at least is to supplement, not just with HRT, but also a couple other things that we're doing that are personal for me, because I have a couple of other issues going on as well. One being an autoimmune disorder. So all that to say, I want you to start thinking about your health as a kaleidoscope. The thing that we used to look through as little kids, and it was this light came in and there were all of these panels and they moved and you could twist them and you could watch them move. But all of those panels worked together to create what was happening in that kaleidoscope. And the light that shone into that kaleidoscope to bring it to life, that's us. So our health, our whole life, is our kaleidoscope. It's the light that shines into perimenopause that allows the doctor to go, look, let me look at all of these different panels that are happening with you, symptoms, and explain to you how each piece of this is your body trying to navigate through this thing that's happening to you. Don't feel like you are crazy. Don't feel like it's just me. I never in a million years would have thought that a problem. I thought my prescription was just changing. I'm new to glasses. I've only had them for about a year. And I just assumed that my prescription was changing. And she's like, it's probably the perimenopause. We're going to get your eyes checked anyway. But I bet you I've probably been in the process of some of this eye stuff for longer than last year when I finally got glasses after struggling for a couple of years. But it was just so telling to realize that so much of what we hear about menopause is such a small slice of the things that could be happening in your body that are a direct result of perimenopause. And so don't just think your symptoms are happening to you. Don't think weird symptoms are just weird symptoms and you're dying of cancer or you've got some other thing going on. I am learning more and more all the time that the approach to menopause and the way that we've talked about it in this country, at least, light years behind the times than in other places. But finally, we're beginning to get some real conversations about what this period of time, because it's only a period of time, but it can be a long one, but it is, it does end. But this period can cause a substantial amount of damage, physical and emotional damage, to the women who have to go through it. And if we suffer in silence, we are not only not doing ourselves any help, we're also not doing the medical establishment any help, because if we don't say what's going on and ask the important questions like, so what you thinking here, doc? And not stop until we get some answers, then they don't know that we're out here suffering. And I need to talk specifically to Black women. Our perimenopausal journey can be longer than other women. In other words, we can suffer a lot longer than other women when it comes to these issues, which also means because menopause is directly linked to some really unfortunate consequences once it's all over and done and we're on the other side, bone loss and cognitive functioning issues, because we don't get the things that we need during the process, because we can suffer from so many of those things afterwards, and we go through this a lot longer, we need to start asking questions early. When your period starts feeling funny, don't just let them tell you it's just fibroids. That could be something you've had your whole life. Period was never funny before. Don't just let them tell you it's because you've gained weight. You know you've gained weight. You want to know why you've gained weight. Don't just let them tell you it's because you're stressed, because that is going to kill way more of us than anything else. The blind wall the doctor has put up that just goes, everything that your problem is that you're stressed or overweight. And yesterday I talked to my doctor and she just looked me in the eye and she said, listen, you may want to lose weight. Got it. Great. No problem. But I am telling you that in this phase of your life, we're going to do this step by step. We're going to bring your hormones back into balance. We're going to get you to a place where your sleep has returned to normal. We're going to get your cortisol levels down, because you may not be super stressed, but lack of sleep will stress you out, right? Doctors who listen and take women's health seriously aren't just going to default to if you just would lose some weight or if you just got 8 hours of sleep. They're going to figure out what's going on with you, and then they're going to help you put your kaleidoscope back together instead of just having broken windows, wondering if you're going crazy. So ask the right questions. Get on board with your health. If you can't get it in this country, women across the world go through menopause. They talk about it across the world. They're dealing with it across the world. The world is open. If you have the ability and the means, and you can't get the help that you need where you're standing, do not let yourself stand in toxic soil and allow it to kill you when there is fruitful soil someplace else. Pick up the Global Menopause Playbook. Get started asking yourself the right questions of what could work for you. The science is evolving. The symptoms are... Last symptom, I started having weird pain in my shoulder. My doctor, before I could even say anything, says to me, I've had 3 other women in here before you this week talking about the fact that their one shoulder, it seems frozen. They're losing this range of motion. Did they pull it? Is there an injury? And she's like, I had to just stop them and say, frozen shoulder is a classic symptom of menopause. Wasn't always a classic one, but it's a symptom now. If you are like, I don't understand why I can't feel like what's going on with my shoulders, and no one has stopped to say, have you had your estrogen checked lately? Find yourself someone who'll listen and don't stop. Because again, Black women especially, we can be in perimenopause for a decade. And when we start our cycles so early, most of us do, start our cycles so early and then go through the change for damn near a decade, what happens to us on the other side starts with what we do with ourselves right now. Okay? Right now. So I don't care what you did yesterday. Today, you are going to take control of your story. I can't do nothing about the sirens out. You're going to take control of your story. Well, I guess I'm going to wait. And you're going to begin to ask the right questions. And again, if you can't get them where you are, you go find someone until you get the answers. And then once you get the answers, then you start getting the help. Don't put anything else, don't put it off. Okay, don't put it off. This video was way longer than I thought it was going to be, but I think it's really important to have this conversation, especially because I know a lot of women who are probably suffering from some symptoms that they're like, all right, since they're determined to do sirens out there, I'm gonna wrap this up now. Pick up the Global Menopause Playbook, like, comment, subscribe, share. Our kaleidoscope glass does not have to remain cloudy or broken. We can get the answers that we need and the help that we need. Until next time, bye y'all.